Hello everyone and welcome back to Wavering Reader. Now in this video today, since yesterday was the 8th of March, Women's Day, I have decided to focus and dedicate this video to 5 amazing female authors which you have all read by now because oh my god, they're so amazing, you could not even believe this. So without further ado, let's get right into them. Now the first female author I have here is none other than Isabel Allende. She is an author from Chile. She's written books like The House of Spirits, The Japanese Lover, In the Midst of Winter, Paula, and many other books that are also bewitching and amazing and intricately woven and just so beautiful. Now, we all know that in Latin America, the authors are like the kings and queens of magical realism, and Isabel Allende is one of those queens. The main book I'm going to recommend you of hers today is The House of Spirits. Now, this book tells the story of this family throughout generations, I think 3 or 4 generations of women, and what's so special about all of her books is that women have such a strong place in them, and they're all really strong female characters in which they're very different. They all have different strengths. They're not like your typical kick-ass characters where they fight physically. Maybe they are in some cases, but in others they aren't. And in oh god, the lighting just changed, I'm so sorry. But in this case, it tells the story of this family. You can also learn the history of Chile through it. And it's just so amazing. The magical realism elements are just really good. And I think she really is one of those authors that should be mandatory reading for everyone because she is both amazing and her books are pleasurable and oh, it's so good. I can't even. You just guys have to trust me on this one and just go and pick up one of her books. The next author I have here is none other than Miss Tracy Chevalier. Now you may know her because she's written books like The Girl with the Pearl Earring, The Lady and the Unicorn, Remarkable Creatures, Burning Bright, The Last Runaway, all very amazing novels, mostly set in the backdrop of like historical settings. Now, I want to recommend you today The Girl with the Pearl Earring, which if you haven't read, I would be surprised because it was like a very popular book like 7, 8, 9 years ago when the movie came out with Scarlett Johansson. But believe me, the movie does not make it justice because it is a really intimate novel. And again, her books, they're just like this window into the characters' lives, and it's just very personal. Sometimes even like if you're trespassing into their lives, but really, it's really amazing. Her writing style is really poetical, really metaphorical, and I just really love it. And if you guys haven't read her, I really recommend it because again, she writes fantastic characters, not your typical characters either, and that's just something really fun and refreshing to read, so I do really recommend her. Now the next author I want to recommend is Margaret Atwood, and it is not surprising that she's on here. She's a Canadian author who has written The Handmaid's Tale or Alias Grace, and thankfully her works are being adapted lately. The Handmaid's Tale was a show last year as well as Alias Grace, and they were just both so amazing. And again, Margaret Atwood is like this feminist power author that really advocates for equality, and she's just so amazing and her works are really good. And what's really amazing from her is the characters she writes because they're really intricate, they're really layered. You don't know what to expect. In the case of Alice Grace, I haven't read the book, I've only watched the show, but you want to root for the main character and then yet at the same time you don't, because you don't really know what is happening, what is true, what isn't. And you see that despite what this character has done, the system is failing her. Everyone should read at least one of her books, so I do really recommend her. The next and penultimate author I have here is none other than Camilla Läckberg. I do feel like I'm butchering her name because I believe she's from Sweden, and she writes these crime novels, like these really gritty, atmospheric crime novels. Now, she's written a lot of books, most of her books, and I believe even all of her books, with the exception of like a random cookbook she's done, are set in the same town of Fjällbacka. I am butchering the name probably. And they're all set with the same set of main characters, Erika, who is an author, and Patrick, who is a detective. And together they solve crimes and these very mysterious and gritty murders. And what's so good about her characters and her books are, again, that they're very layered. They surprise you. Like when I read The Ice Princess, which is the first book of this series, which I believe has like 9 books or so, but they're all really fun to read and really different, is I thought I had everything figured out, but I was so wrong, and I was just so surprised, and I could have never seen that coming. And that's what's also so fun about her books, because it keeps you guessing and you don't know what's going to come. And in like this black novel genre, I think she really thrives, and the fact that, I don't know, just the setting is the atmosphere of like this cold and desolate town. It feels very real. And the last author I have here is Rachel Joyce. Now, funny story with Rachel Joyce, my brother gifted me The Unlikely Pilgrimage of Harold Fry a few years back, and I had never heard about the book. I didn't really feel very keen on it, but I ended up picking it up anyway because he had given it me as a Christmas gift, so I did end up reading it. And I was so pleasantly surprised by it because reading reviews, they were all really good, but it didn't seem like my type of novel. But in the end, it surprised me and I really liked it. Rachel Joyce has this way of getting the human character in such a real and artistic and crude way that you will be left kind of with a heartache because she portrays both the loveliest side of the human beings, but also the crudest and kind of most despicable side of them too, in a way. And her characters are so real, and her stories are really good. Especially in this book that I've read, she's also written The Love Song of Miss Queenie Hennessy, which is the sequel to it, which I have yet to read. Another book called Perfect, I believe. I have yet to read them. She has a way to capture reality and kind of the hypocrisy that we get caught up in nowadays. That's all for this video today, so I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know down below if you've read any of these books, what other female authors you would recommend me and all of us. So let's just keep this conversation flowing because we have to celebrate female authors and just female characters. Oh my god, the works they create are just so phenomenal, and they're sadly and frustratingly looked over just because they're women, and that has to change. That has to change now. It should have changed years ago, but we're still having this conversation, and we will continue to have it until it's over, until we don't have to have it anymore, because equality will have been reached finally. So in the meantime, let's just, through books and literature, expand equality and love for these female authors who are often forgotten. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you've liked it, share with all your friends and family, and also subscribe down below if you've enjoyed it, because I upload videos like this every Friday on this channel, Wayfaring Reader. So again, that's all for this video today. I hope you enjoyed it and have a great day.